Ahoy! I'm down at the church and thought you might like to see a bit behind the scenes about what we've been doing with streaming. Sorry, I forgot my gimbal, so this is going to be a super shaky video. At least the bits looking at me are. One of the things that people have asked with our live stream services is why we've been recording over there, and I'll show you why we've been recording over here. Because over here is where Gareth or whoever has been standing, and mainly it's to just give a nicer background than a plain wall. It's still obvious that we're in church. You can kind of see where we are if you know the building. You know where this is. And the alternatives just aren't really all that good. So if I go over here, and sorry, very shaky. If I go over here and stand sort of where the preacher would normally stand, it's a white wall. It's a bit boring. Plus you get whatever happens to be on the screen. We've had to put stuff up on the screen so that people in here know what's going on, because obviously there's 4 or 5 of us that want to be joining in with worship as well. We need to know what's coming up next. The easiest way is to pop that up on the screen. So that's why we've not been doing it here. We thought, well, what if we went down to the middle of the church? Maybe you can get the cross in, and it just doesn't look all that good. And to get the cross in, you kind of have to, and then you're looking up at the preacher the whole time, which, nah. So that's why we've been going over here. It's just a nicer spot. Next, I'm going to show you some of our exciting technological things that have been going on that makes it all work. So here is what was the AV desk and is now AV desk with a bolt-on for streaming and whatnot. Here we've got my laptop, which is sort of controlling YouTube, so that's how we can chat on the chat and check how many people are watching and making sure the stream's working okay. You can't actually see anything on there at the minute because it's the service is just finished. This magical thing here is our A10 Mini. It's basically a video switcher. You can't see at the moment because the cameras are not switched on. But basically we have our camera 1, camera 2, camera 3 inputs. And it just very simply lets us switch between different things. So if I want to be looking at camera 2, you can see, and this is what's coming up on the screen. So that's what you're seeing, and then this kind of gives us a bit of an idea of if things are positioned okay and sound levels coming out on the stream and that kind of thing. But it's nice for me because it's sort of one push button to kind of get everything to work. So it's nice and easy. Then of course we've got our usual projection PC, which is mixed between or used for PowerPoint mainly, and also the icing worship, which is what we've been using to provide the songs, the music, and the hymn words. It's a package that does it all in one, because obviously we can't really have a band down here with the conditions that they're in at the moment, and the sound desk there. As you can see, you might have been thinking, Jason, that's easily, 8-9 feet? And you only have an arm span of 6 feet. Yeah, and so sometimes I don't quite get it working right. I apologise. Hopefully soon we'll have 2 people behind the sound desk again, and everything will be okay. And in here, we've just got this morning was slightly more exciting because we had Advent 1. So we've got our main camera, which can swivel between looking at the lectern, or it can swivel around over here and be looking at the preacher. Oh, and there's people on the Zoom call at the minute. So that's how we've been kind of doing that. And what I tend to do is fade the screen so that Don can quickly shimmy the camera around and no one notices that that's what's happening. Then over here we've got our lectern, which is wired into the sound desk, so that all the sound is still coming through the sound desk just to make my life a bit easier. And then we've got a second camera today, which is my camera, which is plugged into the A10. And that's just focusing on our amazing Advent display that Marion and Nick have put together, which is fabulous. And so today's candle is lit for the promise. That's it. That's what's been going on. Obviously, we've got our trusty fans going to purify the air and keep us all a bit safer. And yes, and my reflector, which I've been using on the floor just to soften the light on the preacher a little bit, because otherwise, the lights in here weren't really designed for broadcast, and we've not bought any video lights, so it just helps us a little bit. But that's it. That's the behind the scenes. Don's now clearing up, pulling all the tape off the wires. And do you want to wave and say hi? Hi. But that's it, behind the scenes. of streaming on a Sunday morning at Romsey Methodist Church.